Now, I'm making this video because I gave a warning about 2 weeks ago about the things that God wants to do in the community of Toronto, especially Jane and Finch. And I said, the Lord will cleanse the lands if the people do not change. That means the sacrifices, the rituals, the secrecy that they do in the dark of spirituality, in order for it to manifest physically. A lot of times, people don't get the concept of understanding what I am trying to say. Like I said before, what I have said is final. The Lord will cleanse the land, however, He needs to do. And you know it's not hard for Him. These rituals, these sacrifices, these things that are basically haunting the society of Toronto, community of Jane and Finch, right? Violence after violence, killings in broad daylight. People are seeing this. People are being affected. The family that the victims belong to and the community that all the people are there because, I mean, if these people are seeing this type of violence every day, or this type of violence is aggressively increasing in these societies, then what's going to happen? Many will be affected greatly about this situation. Like I said before, in order to combat this problem, we must analyze and understand who we are as people, but especially who we are as spiritual people. Because every single one of us have a spiritual side, a side of energy, a side that we cannot explain, a side that is embedded in us that gives us life. And if that component is split, then we will not have no life. The society of Jane and Finch needs a cleanse. There's too much spiritual witchcraft warfare, wizardry, conjures of dark angel magic that is being embedded in such society. A lot of people are not aware of it because they cannot discern a lot of the deception and confusion that takes place. They cannot. Evil exists, especially in the dark. In those communities, evil uses them for sacrifice. What can be done about this is spiritual leaders, all of you, must meet and pray, because change can only come spiritually before it can manifest physically. Think about it. Construction workers cannot build anything without architectural designs. If you know what I mean. Construction workers cannot do anything, or builders cannot build without architectural design, because that design is going to show them, how big, how small, how agile, all the dimensions, and how big or how wide, or, all the measurements. Same thing. Physicality cannot take place without spirituality. That means it has to be manifested. Anything that takes place has to reoccur spiritually. Spirituality needs praying. Prayer gives you your engine, your gas, your power to give you that extension. Because in order for you to see or to be a seer, you know, to have visions, your prayer life has to be very optimal so that you can then push, you'll be able to drive to to through the darkness that the enemy is hiding what they have done to you, because they meet in dark places, places that are depth of deep of darkness, to cover up the plans that they have for, children of light. In order for that to take place, in order for you to uncover what they see, your spiritual prayer has to extend. Your prayers have to be extensive. Now, that community is in great need of that. Like I said, a revival must take place in Jane and Finch, that the whole Toronto, the whole country will focus on coming to the center of Jane and Finch. It will take place. And the Lord has stated it will take place. So, if God has said it, we know it's going to happen. But he's also saying that the people there are very stubborn, right? Like I mentioned, I talked to people, and I made a video. I don't know who watched it, or if they want to watch it. Some laughed, like I said, oh, if you don't care, whatever, mark it. But I know all those people that laughed know that what I said is reality now. You know what I'm saying? So if this is happening, the Lord is saying, we have to be on alert spiritually. Your prayers have to be stronger. Your positive vibrations have to be stronger. Timeline is something that everybody have. If your timeline matches with the people that you spend a lot of your time with, like most likely your friends, your family, then you're going to do certain things that are the same. And you're going to arrive and do things the same time. But if your timeline, right, is off, then you won't be able to. So the frequency of evil has aggressively increased. And because the frequency of evil has aggressively increased, it changes the safety levels of life, of society. So I encourage you guys to be motivated, innovative, and make sure that you understand what is reality, what is true. That community of Jane and Finch, Jane and Driftwood, up top, down bottom, it doesn't matter. God wants revival there. Revival will take place. Cleanse will take place if the people don't change their ways. Understand? It's evil spirituality. People doing rituals and then it coming into reality. And say, well, violence. It's much deeper than that. Because in that neighborhood, there is cameras. There's people watching people all day. Even when I was there, Yes, I came from there and I grew up from there. And I went back to visit and gave that message. And I've been there for, almost a couple of months. However, as soon as I traveled, I seen it on the news. 'Cause right now, I'm not in Toronto right now, right? I've traveled to the next side, right? And I seen it on the news that two people got killed, you know, two young people, the youth of tomorrow. If the youth of tomorrow is destroyed, then we have no future. The youth is our future. If they keep going like that, if their parents have to be the ones burying them rather than them burying their parents, where they're always seen cemetery. Imagine you have two children, two boys. They both pass away in their 20s. Think about it. What kind of pain the family is going to feel? What kind of pain the mom or the dad and the family and the cousin, they're going to want retaliation too. Because it's retaliation versus retaliation. But it is the devil that is deceiving the masses that have basically people have signed contracts with. See, those type of crimes are not ordinary crimes. They're supernatural. And so they need a supernatural, basically, organization to be able to investigate such causes. Because a lot of these violence and homicides and robberies and harassments and all these crimes, right? A lot of the crimes are induced spiritually, basically all of them. And then they come out, right? Some people, even though they committed such things, physically it's them, but spiritually it's not them. So basically, what I'm saying is God knows that some demon or some person has, basically manifested or has created a demonic dark source of energy, or is in a covenant with such energy. And the energy requires, certain evil to take place. The energy requires that. You see what I mean? And people are not aware of it. So be careful. Increase your spiritual life. Increase that life. Because spiritually, change must come. I said change will come one way or the other. But I don't want it to be an aggressive manner. I want people to be obedient. They listen. Because youth of tomorrow cannot be dying left, right, and center for no, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Their life is being cut in short. If this tends to happen often, you don't know, those kids could have been something. You know what I mean? You don't know their future. And now you cut them short. You don't know their destiny. And you cut it short. So let me know what you guys think. I thought to myself, let me make this video today. Because to be honest, just to reconfirm what I've been saying. Some people might look at it and hear me and say, oh, what is he saying? Doesn't know what he's talking about. But whenever I talk, all of a sudden, look at the reality of things. I just left. I talked about this, about the cleansing and the blessings of the land. If If you don't believe me, go check out my videos 2 weeks ago on YouTube, on Instagram. Check it out. I was wearing the military shirt, you know? And I made a video and I talked about God needs to cleanse these lands. 2 weeks went by. After 2 weeks, I flew out. And when I checked the news, when I got to my destination and I checked the news, it's telling me 2 people have been murdered, you know, on a Wednesday afternoon, broad daylight, which is telling me that spiritually the evil is happening and that we need to cut it short. So God bless you. Pray. Pray for your community. Pray for the change of tomorrow. Pray for the youth of tomorrow. Without the youth of tomorrow, we are going to live very short lives, because if we don't have a future, then what can we depend on? Huh? Right now, youth, little kids, people in their 20s, 18, 17, 15, those are the people who are dying. And these are all the babies, the children. Should not be like that. Have a great day. Have a great night, actually. Bye.